What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is the Blacklist Season 3, Episode 22, Alexander Kirk. Now, this is... I don't necessarily know how to feel about this episode. To be honest, maybe I'm the only one that felt this way, but did this not feel like it was setting up for a spinoff show? I mean, just a little bit. I'm watching this, and all I can think is, we've got another Blacklist show in this. Like, you think about NCIS, they've done this type of thing before. Like, they've done this similar feel, where they go and they're working with this other team full of people just like them, and all of a sudden that gets its own show. You've got Aram and that other nerdy guy on the computers. You've got Samar, and you've got that one girl. You've got Solomon, and you've got Wrestler. You've got... what's her name? Hargrave and Reddington. It just feels like they're another team for the Blacklist. They aren't doing this, are they? They can't. They can't make another show. NBC shows have been pretty poorly handled, from what I understand. They had a couple shows that they had to just completely... What was that one show? The Slap, where that one guy slapped a kid, and apparently that became such a big deal that they have a whole season about criminal cases and stuff. That didn't do too well. There was one that I was actually pretty interested in, Allegiance, where you have the one guy who's working for the CIA and doesn't realize his parents are ex-KGB spies. He doesn't realize that at all. I feel like they kind of blew their load way too early, though. It would have been much more interesting to have a lot longer before he finds out about his parents. But they did it in the first season, and it ended up just... Apparently, everybody was comparing it to The Americans on FX, and it wasn't good enough. So to think about them possibly doing a spin-off show from The Blacklist, which admittedly is a good show. I mean, it's very popular. They just killed off the main character, so it's kind of gaining some ground. To think about doing a spin-off show, even though that may seem like a smart idea, is honestly not. Because one of the things that makes this show work is that we've got a good story going on. You've got Reddington working with the FBI through all of these seasons. And it does kind of beg the question, is he doing this for his own gain? Even for this, you've got, at the end of this episode, you've got Reddington getting all the money and the support of a presidential candidate. And Harold Cooper is kind of saying that and realizing, holy crap, he does have a lot of power. When you really think about it, he has a lot of power right now. He's growing his criminal empire, possibly. Don't really know, maybe not type thing, but yeah, it's very interesting to think about that and think about what if. What if this has all been a ploy? What if this has all been part of his plan the entire time? But anyway, I'm getting too off track. Whether or not they're actually going to do a spin-off show with this new team, don't know. I hope not, because frankly, the characters that they have aren't as interesting as the characters on the FBI team. I would much rather have a Rom on my team than this weird-looking guy, the glasses, and anyway. But there were several good moments in this episode, though. Just their plan in place. It was a good plan to have. Of course, it couldn't go off without a hitch, but this is the second time that randomly this undercover cop appears in a place that they would normally not be. But they just, he happens to be there and ends up getting shot, which ends up hitting the little girl. And so now, all of a sudden, Tom, because he just became a father, is like, we need to save her life. And yeah, it was... I understand that. The thought of, I'm a father now, this little girl's dying, I can't just let her die. It makes sense. Although, it's kind of weird that he decides to take off his mask whenever this father can easily identify him. Although maybe he'll be like, oh, well, he actually tried to save my little girl, so I'm not going to snitch on him. This whole thing with Susan Hargrave turns out to be Tom's father is thrown in at the end, or Tom's mother is thrown in at the end. He finds out from Reddington, who tells him you can't tell her, she can't know. So now that's kind of a thing, and on top of that, she's flirting with him, which makes it even worse. Whole Oedipus complex. Which, how old is she? Because she looks like she's maybe 40s, like early to mid 40s. But to be Tom's mom, she has to be like almost 50. Like 50 or 51. Because when he was kidnapped, he was 6. She said that was 28 years ago, which means he's 34 now. And unless she had him whenever she was 18, that would be... No, even if she had him when she was 18, that would be 24 plus 28 is 52. Yeah, she's got to be in her 50s. She does not look 50. If she is 50, I'm actually going to look that up right now. Come on. It's kind of funny Megan Boone is still on the IMDb list. Credited, but not actually there. Holy crap, she's 51. She is a good-looking 51. Okay, I'm sorry, I just had to... I don't know why I didn't look that up when I was thinking about it earlier, but it just kind of crossed my mind. Anyway, so yeah, it's an important piece of information. I was aware, but not really remembering that Tom's parents, he didn't know who they were, and he was an orphan. They got picked up by the Major and raised as Jacob. So it's an interesting piece of information, and now it's kind of like Tom has replaced Liz almost. Because Liz, the whole thing with her mother, is she still alive? Who is she? Now all of a sudden we've got Tom with his parents. It's weird how they're doing this. Anyway, but maybe they'll have an interesting storyline there. Maybe not. Who knows? What else? The scene where they're going to get the medicine that's going to dilate the guy's pupils and allow them to open up with the retinal scan. That scene, once again, Solomon, Tom shoots him, and I'm just like, Solomon's dead. Like, finally. I don't like Solomon's character. I think he's kind of a little sneaky snake. So to see him finally get shot, I'm like, finally. And then the cops go in there and his body's gone. I'm like, oh. So apparently gunshots to the abdomen just... unless you're played by an actress who's pregnant and needs maternity leave, you're gonna make it out okay. That's the only way you're gonna die in this show, is if somehow the actress portraying you or actor portraying you needs to leave for some reason. I don't know. I was really hoping that was the end of Solomon, but whenever they go in and there's like a blood puddle and he's not there, I'm like, crap! I'm so sick of Solomon escaping. It's very upsetting. But yeah, overall, it was a good episode. It felt a little too much like a look at this other team we could have. We do a spinoff show with them. Because, it was mainly them. There was even a scene where it's all of them sitting in a little room planning the next part of their strategy. And Reddington and the FBI had not been involved for the past 15 minutes. I'm like, this is the Blacklist. Can we get back to the Blacklist, please? I understand this is part of it, but this is not what I want to watch. I want to see Reddington doing all of his badass stuff. In fact, Reddington was only in it at the very beginning of this episode, really. He wasn't involved. Even at the end, Susan calls him and says, hey, we're ready to go. And then Tom calls him, and he's talking to him about Susan being his mother. And that's really all we get of him. So, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but at the same time, it's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted to see whenever I tune in to watch the Blacklist. I don't want to see this other team. I want to see Reddington and the FBI going to take down... if they are going to involve this other team with Susan Hargrave and her people, that's fine. But have them work with the FBI, not doing things on their own while the FBI is sitting waiting for them to make their move. You know, like they only call Aram whenever they need help. You know, doing the breaking the encryption thing. So I don't know. Maybe everybody else liked it. I thought it could have been better. So those are my thoughts on this episode. I am excited next week for the finale. It's been really well set up. When Reddington calls Alexander Kirk and has the talk with him about, I have your money, I have your senator, and he goes back with, I seem to recall standing in front of a beach or standing on the shore in front of a house in front of the water and having a gun inside your mouth. I'm like, so there's history here. I want to see more of this. So it is very well set up. Alexander Kirk is somebody we just found out who he is, so I hope they don't kill him off next episode, although the episode is named after him. This is Alexander Kirk, next week's Alexander Kirk conclusion. I want them to keep him around just a little bit, He seems like he could be potentially a very good bad guy to have, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully they've got a good epic finale for us. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you thought down below. If there's anything I missed that you want to talk about, let me know. We can discuss it. Leave a like and subscribe for more of The Blacklist. I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.